Hello students, welcome to Engineering Assignments. In Engineering Assignments, we were studying a subject called disaster management. In the previous video, we have already dealt with certain key terms and definitions of disaster management. In this video also, we will be dealing with some more terms and definitions of disaster management. Today, the first thing we are going to discuss is resilience. Resilience means returning to normal stage after a disaster has happened. So we can say that disaster resilience is the ability of individual, communities, organizations and states to adapt to and recover from the hazard, shocks or stresses without compromising long-term prospects for development. It's the opposite of vulnerability. Next is risk reduction. It deals with decreasing the risk which is going to happen at that particular area, and it should be performed deliberately, that it should be mostly planned one, it should be proactive, and it should be reactionary and prepared very sincerely, and it should not be prepared episodically or occasionally or when you are free, but it should be always prepared and it should be very sincerely prepared. So risk reduction is actually a systematic and continuous analysis of factors that lead to disaster. Therefore, we can say that it is very important phase of disaster risk management. So disaster risk management is actually a plan or activities or effort that are formally documented or prepared by appropriate entity or authority like municipality, panchayat and all. Disaster risk involves two types of measures. One is structural measures, another one is non-structural measures. Structural measures include the use of physical or engineering solution such as ocean wave barriers or earthquake resistant building to avoid the disaster or reduce its impact. Next is non-structural measures. It involves the use of policies, laws, education and awareness creation and practices to avoid or reduce the impact of disaster. Next is early warning system. So you have already known about the early warning system and all. So early warning system is a socio-technical system designed to generate and circulate meaningful warning information in a timely manner so that it can enable a target system take a proactive response to hazardous threat in order to avoid disaster or reduce its impact. So whenever an early warning is given at the correct time, it enables one to gather basic understanding about the hazard, the vulnerability, and can set the capabilities to face the disaster. For example, when heavy rainfall strikes Kerala, the warning communication is being provided through TV, radio, as well as household warning. And if necessary, evacuation centers like camp can be opened. Next, the search and rescue actions can be prepared. The hospitals and medicine facilities can be arranged. Next is that relief goods can also be arranged. So early warning is very important to be given. So we can emphasize social technical because an early warning system comprises all the steps from detection of the threat through the communication to the target community or the people to the ability of the target to understand and respond appropriately to the warning. Now, in Indian context, the various agencies responsible for forecasting is first, in case of disaster like cyclone, the agency responsible is Indian Meteorological Department. Tsunami, Indian National Center for Oceanic Information Services. In case of flood, Central Water Commission. In case of earthquake, it is Indian Meteorological Department. Next is disaster risk management. It's very important when a disaster happens or there is a chance of disaster happening at that particular area. And disaster risk management is the application of disaster risk reduction policies and strategies to prevent new disaster risk, reduce existing disaster risk and manage residual risk, contributing to strengthening of resilience and reduction of disaster loss. So goal of this is to protect or preserve the number of life during the disaster. Now, when a disaster which is going to happen, first phase involved in disaster risk management is disaster preparedness. That is, get ready to face the disaster. It consists of the knowledge and capacity of the institution, communities and individual to effectively anticipate, respond to and recover from the impact of likely, imminent or active hazard event or condition. For example, in case of natural disaster, in natural disaster, maximum you can't prevent it from happening. You can only reduce the impact of the disaster. So you should get prepared for this disaster. That is, you should have all knowledge about the disaster, what all capacities you have to deal with this disaster, what all responses or what all recovery mechanism can be implemented. That is, it deals with the complete preparation to face the disaster. Next is disaster prevention. Disaster prevention is elimination or reduction of the likelihood of occurrence of natural disaster event or adverse impact. So as I told you that natural disaster cannot be completely prevented but can reduce the effect of it. The disaster prevention action include flood protection embankments to reduce the impact of flood. Now, disaster mitigation. Disaster mitigation refers to a set of measures to reduce or neutralize the impact of natural hazards by reducing social, functional and physical vulnerability. Next is disaster response. So after disaster has been happened, what all things has to be considered? So that is disaster response. Disaster response, or we can also say that disaster relief, is a provision of assistance or interventions through emergency services during or immediately after the crisis in order to save the life, reduce the further impact on health and public safety, and to meet the basic subsistence need of affected population. Now let us see what is damage assessment. Damage assessment is a process of determining the nature and extent of loss, suffering and or harm to the community resulting from the natural, accidental and human caused disaster. So damages are normally classified as severe. Severe means the target facilities or object cannot be used for its intended purpose. Complete reconstruction is required. Next is moderate. The target facility or object cannot be used efficiently for its intended purpose unless major repairs are made. Next is light. Light, the target facility or object can be used for intended purpose, but minor repairs would be necessary. So this is about the damage assessment. Next is crisis counseling. It is very much necessary to give counseling immediately after the disaster. The primary goal of the crisis counseling is to attain the quickest possible relief to a person so that it can help this person decrease his anxiety, also provide assistance for the immediate help. Crisis counseling is a process of elevating the emotional and psychological disturbance of the person affected by disaster in order to restore a sense of control and mastery and to aid the process of recovery and reconstruction. Normally, the disaster overwhelms the physical and psychological capacity of the people to cope, and this can lead to emotional and psychological disturbance which can affect the person's ability to make right decision and adopt reasonably responsive actions. So crisis counseling addresses these problems and it's a crucial part of recovery and reconstruction. Next is need of assessment. Need of assessment is a process of estimating the financial, technical, human resources needed to implement the agreed upon programs of recovery, reconstruction and risk management. And post-damages need assessment is normally a rapid multi-sectoral assessment that measures the impact of the disaster on the society, economy, and environment of the disaster affected area. So when a disaster happens, it is very much needed to have an assessment about the damage which has happened over there, and this assessment should be very rapid. So that's all I want to say about key terms in disaster management. Thank you students. Thank you for watching my video.